The Georgia Tech rivalry up through 1963. 27.
You've heard from the Sports Lab Overtime, Sports Scene, Twigs with Jeremy St. Louis, Sports Lab with our INC students, and Jeff and Zach on Tailgate. Now, it's time to bring it all together. This is This Week in Gator Sports Overtime, your extra coverage and insider look at everything in Gator Nation.
Okay, let's do this. Let's get this thing underway. Here come the Gators.
Since they left. Championships in 35 years. The SEC. The SEC 62 years ago won national championship. 3 and 35, 1 and 62.
We're kicking off This Week in Gator Sports
Won the
Overtime
SEC
with our Gators
5
football beat
times in
team,
13
and they've been
seasons.
staying strong all season long. It's been
They've
a
got
season
3
of ups
ACC
and downs.
championships
We're
in
joined
4.5
by
decades.
Tori Kitchens to my right,
Here
Nick
is the
Abreu
truth.
to
Auburn
my
is
left.
not likely to name anything after Gene
And
Chizik.
I'll be honest, guys, I thought we'd
No
be having
matter
a
how
much
much
different
time passes.
conversation this week.
It's been
Saturday,
35 years.
I had to watch
I
the
don't
second
know
half
of
only,
anything,
just
not
because
one
the
thing
football
on the Georgia
team
Tech. Hey,
just has
do you
not.
have anything named after Bobby
It's
Ross?
just been a disappointment all around. And I understand there's been a coaching change, and some players have had struggles and haven't played up to their potential. But I felt like it all came to a head in Lexington Saturday. Tori, you wrote the game story for us. Starting with you, just what went wrong?
I don't think I have ever wanted to turn off a football game more in my life, if I'm being completely honest with you. There was just this team just doesn't look like they're together anymore. I have been convinced ever since Billy Gonzales stepped into the role that the chemistry would still be there. The locker room would still be close together, and it's just not seeming that way anymore. And that low energy is kind of bleeding into Gator Nation as a whole. Like, people are just losing interest. My father, for example, says he wants to jump into the transfer portal of
I
as a
can't blame
fan.
him. Hey,
I don't either. I told him he wasn't allowed to, but that was his thought. But it's not surprising that that's kind of the sentiment at this point.
Yeah, Nick, DJ Lagway, 3 interceptions, benched in the second half. Obviously, that was the big headline coming out of Saturday's games. Your thoughts on Lagway, his regression this season overall, and what happens for the Gators moving forward?
Yeah, first off, I knew it was going to be a bad game when I turned on the game, and I was watching the wrong game because the game before hadn't finished, and,
Right.
the stupid thing with YouTube TV and ESPN, it was hard for me to watch it anyway, so I couldn't get in until like halfway through the first quarter.
We're not going to talk about where you were watching that game.
Yeah.
I don't want to out you in case.
Yeah,
you know.
just it was hard to watch.
Yeah.
It was hard to watch in multiple ways. Yeah, but
Right.
DJ Lagway, those 3 interceptions, getting benched at halftime. I think it's about time. Thank God. I think throughout the year there were multiple times where he probably should have been benched.
Yeah.
Where he wasn't playing well, and you just give your team a better chance at winning if you try something new, whether it works or not. Just try something, because DJ Lagway wasn't gonna help us in that game. I mean, we saw the same thing against LSU, a few other games where he's played poorly. Miami, he played really poorly,
Right.
but that was still earlier in the season.
Yeah.
I think it was a necessary evil. I think he had to be benched for his own good, for the team's own good. And I think it's just a result of what we've seen. I think the last couple games have really showed Gator fans that DJ Lagway is a lot bigger of a problem from this team than we may have thought of before the Billy Napier firing. I think Billy Napier was kind of the scapegoat for a lot of DJ Lagway's problems for most of the season.
Yeah.
But I think now it's clear that, yes, Billy Napier deserved to be fired. His play calling was not good enough. But also, DJ Lagway's play has not been up to par. DJ Lagway has to have some of that blame now put on him, because even 2 weeks after Billy Napier's firing, it's arguably gotten worse.
Yeah, without question. I would say who also deserves the blame, Tori, is the defense. 38 points to Kentucky. I mean, it was over as soon as it started, it seemed like, with Kentucky scoring 21 points in that second quarter. What happened to the defense?
Great question. I don't know if they even showed up in Lexington. Did they not get on the bus or something?
Right.
I don't understand. But I think that Miles Graham said it after the game that they didn't practice right all week, which was kind of I think that he caught himself in saying that. He was like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. But that was an indicator to me that this team's just no longer in it. I feel like they're just pushing through games to get through games. They're not trying, they're trying to win, but are they? They're just trying to get through whatever this season is going to be, especially now knowing that a bowl game is probably
sort of out
off
of
the
reach.
table.
Yeah, kind of. Gators right now 3-6 overall, 2-4 in the SEC. Tori, you mentioned pushing through. I mean, can you push through a team like Ole Miss?
No.
So what do you think is going to happen this weekend?
See, I let my guard down last week and picked Florida for the first
You
time.
did.
And
You see what happens?
of course that didn't work out. But I don't think that Florida even has a chance against Ole Miss. I think the one thing that could save them is Gator Nation showing up in Oxford, which I don't even know if that's going to happen at this point but Ole Miss's student section has been empty every single week, and Lane Kiffin's been fed up with that, as we've seen through his social media. So I just think that I don't even see it as possible, if I'm being honest with you.
Not even being close. I mean, Vegas doesn't either. You look at the 14.5-point spread. Nick, when Billy Napier was first fired, you had the story on the top coaching candidates, Lane Kiiffin being one of those candidates, and the odds have improved week to week. Right now, a -300 favorite to become the next Gators head coach. What does this game mean potentially for the future when you look at Lane Kiiffin possibly being in Gainesville next season?
Yeah, you asked Tori about whether the Gators had a chance in this game. I don't even think that matters anymore. I think you're really playing in this game to convince Kiffin more than you're playing to win the game.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think the chances are not terrible. We've seen those odds gradually increase, and I think the reason for that is because we've yet to see him sign that contract extension that the Ole Miss athletic director has been saying he's been working toward for weeks now, since Kirk Cincinnati got his contract extension. So it's been a long time now, and he still hasn't put pen to paper. So it really begs the question whether he's really committed to this program right now, whether he really thinks they have the talent, the resources to go all the way. Yes, they're a top 10 team right now, but who's to say that they don't drop one of these last two games kind of towards the back end of that playoff ranking and then just drop out of the first round. I don't know if he's satisfied with that.
Yeah.
In his Monday press conference, someone asked him about what makes a head coaching job attractive nowadays in the days of NIL.
Right.
And his response really convinced me that maybe he'd be interested in Florida. Because first of all, the fact that he responded with a 2-minute rant when he knows that he's rumored for this Florida job and the week ahead is to play Florida, it was obvious this reporter was trying to make that kind of connection with it. So the fact that he gave that big of a response and his answers were the commitment to the football team, the financial commitment to the football team, the NIL collective, the facilities that are available, another thing he said, the history, the blue blood, the blue programs that have the Heismans, that have the championships, everything he said aligned more with the Florida job than the Ole Miss job, which makes me think that maybe his eyes are open to Florida might be able to get me over the hump, even though their roster's not that great right now. If I can get in there, cement my own roster, they'll give me the resources I need to take it all the way.
Yeah, certainly doesn't sound like he is sticking around in Ole Miss and Oxford at all. Another thing that he's aligning with is his Twitter account, Tori. He retweeted DJ Lagway being benched Saturday. We know Kiffin's a troll, but what do you make of his continued trolling after tweeting the news of Lagway being benched?
When I saw that people were reposting that Lane Kiffin reposted that, I thought it was a joke.
Right.
I thought that it was one of those fake accounts that was sharing that, and then I go to Lane Kiffin's account myself and see it right in front of me, and I'm like, there's absolutely no way that he's real. He just, I don't know. I feel like he's trying to make it seem like he either really wants it or doesn't want it at all. But I don't know. I think that he is more into it than people are giving. That people are realizing, because like Nick said, he's always looked up to Spurrier. He's always wanted that he's said that it was one of his dream jobs a few years back. So I think that it's absolutely possible. And his Twitter's funny. I do think that might be throwing Scott Strickland off a bit.
Yeah. Without question.
So yeah.
Yeah. You know, a scenario that came up yesterday, I was talking to someone, and that was the potential scenario. I also saw this on social media as well, of Ole Miss blowing out Florida Saturday and Kiffin signing an extension either at halftime or after the game. Did you guys see that? Hear that? Could you imagine if that were to happen?
Break my heart.
That'd be insane. That's
ultimate
that's
troll.
Never happened before, right? Like that's physically like not possible, right? There's no way he can just go into the locker room. They just have it ready on like his locker.
That's the thing.
He would do that,
that's
though.
the thing.
He's
I would
such
say
a
of all
troll.
the coaches,
thing to
of
do.
all coaches to do that, right? It would be Kiffin. And we see some news trickle out at halftime that, man, could you
He's just
imagine?
been kind of raising our hopes
Right.
this entire time just to
Exactly.
break them at halftime, just to make it better for him.
All right, guys, as we wrap up here on Twigs OT, let's just give our predictions. I mean, we don't have to predict whether or not Kiffin's going to sign an extension at halftime, but at least on the score, Nick, starting with you, what do you think happens Saturday?
It's definitely a blowout.
Yeah.
It depends.
Gators don't stand a chance?
No, the Gators do not stand, especially after that Kentucky game. The confidence is at an all-time low.
Yeah.
I don't know who's going to show up. I don't know who's going to even play if we start seeing those red shirts trickle in. So
Does Lagway get benched? How about that? Did he get benched 2 weeks in a row? Is this the last we may see of him this season?
I don't think Tramel Jones will play. I think DJ Lagway is definitely going to get the start. Billy Gonzales has already alluded to that. And then I think if he continues to play terribly like he did in Kentucky, he will get benched. But I don't think Tramel Jones will come in just so that he can preserve his red shirt, and then maybe he can start the last two games if DJ Lagway continues to struggle.
Yeah.
But as I was saying, in terms of a score, it depends if the defense wants to show up if they don't give up like they did against Kentucky.
Yeah.
But the offense isn't doing anything, so I'll give the offense like maybe 10 points. So like maybe like 30-10 for Ole Miss.
All right. Tori, your predictions on the score and whether or not Lagway plays the entire game.
Well, I'm not picking Florida. I'm not making that same mistake again. But our fellow beat reporter Hunter DeLauder picked 41-10 Ole Miss, which I think was pretty on the money, which I don't usually agree with Hunter on score predictions. So, but I'll give it 41-17.
41-17.
I'll give Florida an extra touchdown there.
All right. What about Lagway?
I could see him getting benched if he throws 2 interceptions in the first half. Okay. Those 3 interceptions just in one half alone. Insane. He probably would have had a similar outcome to LSU for those 5 interceptions if he had been kept in the whole game. Yeah. The defense was reading him well. He was not making good throws or smart decisions at all, and I think that if they want to even have a shot, they can't let him go much past 2 interceptions.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll have to wait and see. Of course, that's Tori Kitchens and Nick Abreu. They are 2 of our 3 Gators football beat reporters. And who's covering the game this weekend? Who was it?
I got it.
Nick's got the game, so be sure to check out his recap this Saturday, coming after the game on WRUF.com. Be sure to check out Tori's scouting report as well, which came out earlier today, scouting Ole Miss. And be sure to check out their coverage all throughout the season as well. Tori, Nick, thanks for joining us on Twigs OT.
Thank you.
I'm Abigail Justice, and I'm here with Grace Harlan. And we're playing This or That Gator Sports. Night or noon game at the Swamp?
Night game.
A game versus FSU or Georgia?
FSU.
Gators in March Madness or the College World Series?
March Madness.
1-point win or blowout victory?
1 point.
UF homecoming or rivalry game?
Rivalry game.
Albert or Alberta?
Alberta.
Go Gators or it's great to be a Florida Gator?
Go Gators.
We're back here on This Week in Gator Sports Overtime, and we're joined by our excellent NFL beat team, Riley Orovitz and Dalton Salings. And guys, we got to start with your picks here. You all are the NFL experts. We count on you each and every week to get it right. And I know you guys have your own battle going on between you two, but 0-3 over this last week? Who wants to explain themselves? Riley, Dalton, which one of you guys?
Yeah, I can explain it for us. I believe we did our jobs as well as we can, and the NFL teams just let us down. Buffalo let us down. The Buccaneers let us down. And Jacksonville blew a game that they had no business blowing, giving up, 4 fourth-quarter touchdowns. I believe we made our picks correct, and the NFL teams are the ones that are wrong here.
All right, that's fair. Let's start off with the Bucs. How does the Bucs loss shake up the power rankings for this week, Dalton?
Yeah, so they actually swapped places with the Patriots who beat them. So the Bucs were in the 3rd spot. They fell all the way down to 6, whereas the Patriots went from 6 to 3. Tampa Bay, this is now losses piling up a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm still not nervous at all about them. I think they can bounce back easily. They play in a weak NFC South. There's still plenty of room for them to grow, but they did slide down 3 spots because of that loss, and the Patriots enter the top 3 for the first this season.
All right, Riley, how about your Dolphins? They got a win over Buffalo. I can't believe it. What did you see from the Dolphins in their win?
The Dolphins finally look like a complete team, shockingly, against the NFL, one of the NFL's best teams in Buffalo. I saw Devon Achane continuing to be amazing for this Dolphins offense. And Buffalo, they just couldn't do the little things right, it seemed. And what I liked about the Dolphins win is that Tua didn't have to play amazing.
Yeah.
He was shy of 200 passing yards, so it wasn't on his back, but it was 3 phases of the game. We're all clicking.
Yeah. And another week, Mike McDaniel, he survives.
It might have been Chris Greer was the issue. Champ Kelley in his first game. It could happen.
So you got the bad apple out of the building, and now the Dolphins, they look like...
They look better.
Okay, yeah.
I
was gonna go. I was gonna go potentially, Super Bowl contenders.
No.
But yeah,
I'll say they look
the way
better.
the season has gone. Yeah, it's not happening.
It's a little late.
Riley, sticking with you. Let's look at fantasy. Who had the best fantasy performance this week?
Best fantasy performance, I have to give it to Devon Achane. He had 40.5 fantasy points. That's his greatest total since 2023 in that crazy Dolphins-Broncos 70-20 fiasco. He iced the game with 2 plus 50-yard touchdowns, and he did everything through the air as well. He continues to be one of the Dolphins' best receivers. Yeah. So as long as they keep feeding him, I believe he had 22 carries also, which is was his season high.
Yeah.
So.
Definitely want to look at him if you have him in your fantasy lineup. Speaking of receivers, Dalton, Travis Hunter, season-ending injury there. High expectations coming into the season. Number 1 overall pick, of course. Talk about his dual role, not only at wide receiver but also at corner. Done for the season. Didn't really see him reach his potential this season. How do you think this injury impacts the Dolphins moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, Jacksonville traded up for him. They really wanted him. They brought him in. He's out for the year now. I don't think it will impact them that much. They never really showed they knew how to use Hunter. They couldn't decide if they wanted him as a receiver, as a corner. Obviously, I think this is more of a next year problem. This year was really just feeling out, how is Hunter going to play on both sides of the ball? Where do we want to play him? How much can we give him? Now that he's injured, it means that he's not going to be able to get those reps in on both sides of the ball. I actually think I talked about it a little bit in my power rankings this week. I addressed injuries. The bigger injury, in my opinion, for the Jaguars is that of Brian Thomas Jr. He is their wide receiver 1. He is their alpha. I think they're going to miss him if he can't return this week more than they miss Hunter for the rest of the season.
Yeah, and correction there, number 2 overall pick, not the top pick. But I guess when you look at sort of what's happening with Travis Hunter, and Jaguars, they had big plans for him, right? And said that, they wanted to use him to his fullest capabilities. But to your point, they just couldn't find an effective role for him. How does this impact any fantasy starters in the coming weeks?
Yeah, we talked about it last week with Jacoby Myers being brought in at wide receiver from the Raiders. He just gets boosted up even more, and Riley talked about it in her fantasy recap as well. Parker Washington has been getting a lot of work. Now, some of that is coming from his value in the punt returning game. He had a punt return touchdown this past week. I expect once Brian Thomas Jr. is back healthy, you're looking at Thomas and Myers in your lineup. Also, should be returning soon from the IR, Brenton Strange, the tight end. With Hunter missing time, Strange is absolutely a player you can play in your lineup.
All right, definitely. Now, I want to kind of take a step away from fantasy. I just want to go back to Hunter, Travis Hunter, in terms of this year, obviously ending in disappointing fashion. What do you think his future is in the NFL? potentially next season and the seasons to come.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that the Jaguars are going to really having a full offseason to take a look at what do we want to do with him, sit down with him, and find what's best. I do not expect him to be a two-way player for his career. He's not Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah.
I think he's going to pick one side of the ball, whatever Jacksonville needs more. I would not be shocked if next year he is playing over 80% of his snaps on defense.
Okay.
That is what Jacksonville needs more. They have pass catchers, and they've invested a lot in the offense. On the defensive side of the ball, the secondary needs help. You saw it. They gave up 4 fourth-quarter touchdowns, albeit it was a fumble return for a touchdown. They need help on the defensive side of the ball. I think Hunter's role in Jacksonville is going to be as a defender. He will still have some packages where he plays offense. He's a great receiver, but I think that he is going to become a defensive-minded player going forward.
Yeah, I would agree. Going forward, speaking of Sunday's games, a lot of all Florida teams in action this week. You have Tampa Bay at Buffalo. Of course, Buffalo coming off of a loss, as well as Tampa Bay coming off a loss. Los Angeles and Jacksonville as Jaguars host the Chargers. And then last in Madrid, Miami, of course, playing against Washington. Riley, kick us off with picks. I hope we go better than 0-3 this week, Riley. So start us off strong.
I hope so, too. I mean, I went against the Dolphins last week, which I won't be doing this week. I think they ride this streak. They look a lot better. I have the Dolphins winning 21, Commanders putting up 14. Washington's allowing 134 rushing yards per game. Speaking of Devon Achane from before, if he can go over 100 yards, I think Miami can win.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Dalton, do you agree?
I do not. I do think that Achane will have a big game against Washington. I just don't think it'll be enough. The game's being played in Madrid. Anytime a game goes overseas, weird stuff happens. You saw the Falcons take the Colts to overtime. Those are two teams that should not be competitive. Potentially, no Jaden Daniels. There has been talk about him coming back from his elbow injury. So Marcus Mariota most likely getting the start for Washington. I still think the Commanders win. I have them 24-17 in Madrid.
All right. We will see. Going to our second game, Tampa at Buffalo. Dalton, will stick with you. Break that one down for us.
Both teams coming off a tough loss. I think Buffalo bounces back harder. There's a lot of question marks about the health in Tampa Bay. You're looking at maybe Bucky Irving. He was back at practice today in a limited capacity. There's no guarantee he plays. I think the Bills can very easily win this game. The Buccaneers struggled against the ground game, allowing Travion Henderson to go for 2 huge touchdowns. I think that James Cook has a big game for Buffalo, and they pick up the win 32-28.
All right. How about you, Riley? You agree?
I do agree. I have Buffalo winning 31-21. I think last week's collapse was definitely a fluke. I mean, James Cook didn't exceed 55 rushing yards, and Josh Allen still threw for over 300 yards. Like, he's going to be Josh Allen, and I think they'll bounce back this week over a injury-riddled Tampa team.
All right. Last pick before our hot takes. Riley, sticking with you. Jags hosting the Chargers. Who you got?
Jacksonville's looked rough. They've dropped 4 of their last 5 games, and I have the Chargers winning 31-17.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, I'm also going with the Chargers. I have them 35-20. I talked about it in Power Rankings last week. My hot take for the Chargers was about Justin Herbert being an MVP candidate. I'm standing on that. I think he's going to really dominate this Jacksonville defense.
All right. Speaking of hot takes, let's get to our hot takes now. What is your hot take for this Sunday?
Yeah, I know I said I had the Commanders-Dolphins score at 24-17, but my hot take isn't necessarily what I think is going to happen. It's a hot take that might happen. Let's say the Commanders blank the Dolphins. No points for the Dolphins this week in Madrid. They get shut out overseas. The people in Spain are going to think they're the worst football team, and they might not be wrong. But I think the Commanders' defense has a bit of an awakening against the Dolphins. I think Achane can eclipse 100 yards, but just not get in the end zone. I have the Dolphins getting shut out as my hot take.
That is sizzling. That's not just a hot take. That is sizzling, especially coming off the Buffalo win this past week. They're not going to score a point.
Super Bowl hangover.
Oh, there you go. Super Bowl. It was their Super Bowl for sure. Riley, what's your hot take for this week?
That was my Super Bowl, but you're underestimating the Dolphins fan base in Spain. They come out. They really do.
Yeah.
My hot take, sticking with the Dolphins, is Tua throws for over 275. The Commanders are allowing the second most passing yards per game. Their pass defense is horrible. I'm just going to say it how it is. Tua has the ability. I think he goes for over 275.
Do they score?
Do we score?
Miami? Does Miami score?
Yes, I believe Miami scores and wins.
Did you hear that, Dalton?
I heard her, and I think both of our takes will not be right this week because I don't think there's any way Tua throws for 275 and no touchdowns.
We need to record that.
Yeah, for sure. We are recording right now, and so, of course, we will revisit this next week. Actually, we'll revisit it with Dalton. Dalton's going to be holding down the fort. Riley going home early for the well-deserved Thanksgiving break. But, of course, both of them have been working hard all semester long, covering the NFLB inside and out. Be sure to check out all their coverage on WRUF.com. The picks are getting close here. We're winding down. So, of course, we'll have an update next week and see what happens. I don't know. We'll see if the Dolphins score. We'll see if they can get off another win as well. See what happens in Jacksonville. And then also with Tampa Bay coming off their loss at home against New England. Dalton, Riley, I want to thank you so much for coming on Twigs OT.
I'm Abigail Justice, and I'm here with
Jennifer Lamia.
and we're playing This or That Gator Sports. Night or noon games at the Swamp.
Night.
A game versus FSU or Georgia.
FSU.
Gators in March Madness or the College World Series.
Probably the College World Series.
1 point win or blowout victory.
Blowout victory.
UF homecoming or a rivalry game.
A rivalry game.
Albert or Alberta.
Ooh. Alberta.
Go Gators or it's great to be a Florida Gator.
Go Gators.
Back here on This Week in Gator Sports Overtime, and right now we're joined by our Gator Soccer Beat team, David Lopez, Macy Meese. They are here to break down some breaking news, some shocking news more than anything. It came down Wednesday afternoon where Samantha Bohan, the head coach of the Gator Soccer program, is head coach no more. She was fired yesterday. Guys, I was talking to a couple of my sources, a parent of one of the players. They were completely blindsided. Went to Bohan's office last night and helped said their goodbyes as Bohan was cleaning out her office. I want to get your reactions to this news, starting with you, Macy.
I mean, crazy to think we're on the same page as the players. Like, I think this is absurd. And if you're really asking me, I have one 4-letter word. What? I'm shocked. I'm seriously so shocked.
Yeah.
I think that the program was seriously on the up. And I saw Coach's leadership and honestly was inspired even just in interviews with her. It's just shocking to me. I think she was such a character for this program, someone really bringing the program on the up. Like, I'm just what?
David.
I share a lot of those sentiments. I think in a few more words than Macy, more than just a 4-letter word.
Yeah.
I think when you look at the performances this season, and I think you could kind of point to maybe her first 2 years in charge where there was a lot of turmoil from previous coaching staffs. She only had 8 players on the roster when she first came in to the University of Florida. And then look at the culture she built towards the end of that tenure. Look at the freshman and sophomore talent that were going to build this program up. And then look at a top 10 recruiting class last year, a top 5 recruiting class this year.
Yeah.
I think this is a program headed in the right direction. And it didn't make sense to me at first. And honestly, after 24 hours, I still haven't put my head around exactly why this happened.
Just rewinding like to a week ago, I remember having all of you all on here on This Week in Gator Sports. And while the Gators fell short to the season in the SEC tournament, overall, it seemed like there was a lot of optimism going into next season, right? In terms of, you talk about the recruiting class, you talk about the stability of this program overall. And this decision for it to come down just even a week later, what do you think may have led to potentially the decision that we saw yesterday? Macy.
I mean, there's plenty of theories, and I feel like all the Soccer Beat team has been doing was just asking questions. We're all confused. And I think just trying to come up with everything. I mean, David and I spent this morning looking at Bohan's contract, and there's a clause in there talking about performance, basically saying that due to a lack of performance, that could then, cause for termination. I just don't see this season being a lack of performance. Yes, we didn't win the SEC tournament, but if you look at how we did these past 3 years, the culture that Bohan had to come into, coming off a previous coach that, had some character issues, Bohan wasn't coming into a perfect situation. She had a lot of culture shifting to do. And I think, a high-performing program starts with a strong culture. And Bohan had to come in basically from the ground up and build this program back up, build that culture back. I mean, and she did that not just with the culture, but with the roster. And you look at the performance they've had this season. This is the best they've had under Bohan as head coach. Like, I'm shocked. And they have a young roster, too. Like, it was only on the up from here, if you ask me.
Yeah.
It's just, this is crazy.
Absolutely. David, when you look at Florida Gators athletics and the resources, that's what we've been talking about. I feel like it's been a theme over the last month with Billy Napier's firing. Gator athletics, by far, one of the strongest athletic programs in the country here in the SEC. Do you feel Bohan got the support that she needed to build a prominent soccer program?
You know, one of the more valuable experiences I've had since covering this beat, and I know Macy and Hunter would say the same, is being able to make a connection with the coaches' parents the way we did. And they gave us a much more intimate perspective of how Bohan's time had gone. And one of the things that they emphasized was that Bohan always wanted to feel a bit more supported in the resources her program got, as if she was getting half of what other SEC coaches were dealing with in terms of money they could spend on the recruiting trail, trips they could take out to meet with recruits or transfer portal prospects. And when you think about the fact that Florida athletics is dominant in so many fields, in gymnastics, in basketball, in football at times, in baseball it's been successful, in softball, there's so many programs that have been boosted up through our athletic department that has made the Florida Gators the everything school, as they like to call it.
Right.
Florida Gator soccer is one of the few sports I can say didn't get the same level of backing. And I think part of the situation could have been Bohan being very vocal about it. She was a competitor, and she always emphasized it to us. She was always going to fight for what she thought was right and what she wanted to happen with her team. And I think being that vocal about what she needed for her team could have led to this decision in some way.
Let's talk about what happens next for this team. Again, and talking to one of the parents of one of the players last night, his response was, now we wait, right? Obviously, you're going to have a turnover with a new coach, potential scholarships lost, a talented team, a youthful team. What happens next for the Gators?
I mean, you talk about talented, youthful team. The fact that this happened on signing day, like, you had an even more talented, youthful generation coming into this program. Like, now you just wonder, are they going to flip? Because there's just so much uncertainty. And, I mean, even current players, we're so uncertain.
Yeah.
A, why this happened, B, where this is going to go, because no one saw this coming.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just really praying that, you know, everyone banks on the strength of the program.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that the culture the team has built, even in the absence of Bohan, I really am praying it still continues that upwards trail. I mean, like we said, they have one of the youngest rosters, I think, that competed in the SEC tournament.
They had the youngest roster in the SEC tournament this year.
Yeah, like, you think about that. I'm like, again, only up from there, developing their chemistry, both with each other and, you know, learning how they can fight against these other really competitive teams. Like, that bond was only going to grow.
Yeah.
And I'm praying that this isn't like a blip in the system for them, because I seriously see this program going so far.
David, who would be some of the key losses coming off of this roster if they don't stick around with the team for next season?
Well, you're already dealing with the fact that 4 senior players are leaving, 2 of those being starters in Laura McCloskey and Charlotte McClure, who are essential to the way this team operated in the past few years. I think that freshman class will end up sticking around because it's not the same way in other sports like football or basketball where players end up following their coaches. There isn't an NBA exactly for women's soccer that could funnel these players through. I think it ends up being where they pursue the best 4 years they can at UF. The players the freshmen, especially like Kai Chikaris and some of the other freshman pieces, will stick around. My concern is there were 2 top 10 recruits nationally in Florida's class. It was the top class in the state of Florida against a Florida State team that is number 6 in the country right now.
Yeah.
So to think that they could have risked some of the recruits because they jumped the gun on firing this coach until they could get assurances for these recruits, it's very concerning if you're a Florida Gators fan, because this is a soccer program that has won a quarter of the all-time SEC titles, and they really could have been back on their way to SEC contention. You just have to hope that you keep this really strong recruiting class together and build this program for the next few years.
Absolutely. Bohan still owed $750,000. Just the timing doesn't make any sense overall. It almost makes you want to wonder, is there another coach out there who's lurking?
It's possible.
It's possible. Wants this position, whether they currently have a job, whether they're out of a job. Could that be a reason why Bohan is no longer here?
There was a couple comments online on Twitter, in the Twitter sphere, so you can take this with a grain of salt, but Mark Krikorian, the former Florida State coach who won back-to-back NCAA Division I titles with them in the 90s, was one of the names floated around because what Strickland seemed to be looking for in the next coach was pedigree. And Krikorian coached both Florida State to national titles, U.S. under-20 women's teams. There's a lot of experience there at the top level of women's soccer, so it could be an option, but a lot of it is just speculation at this point because what do we really know? It's been 24 hours. I think in the next week we'll probably have a better hint as to where this Florida Gator soccer team is headed.
Absolutely. I know you guys are going to be working hard as well and trying to find some of these answers. Macy, as we wrap up here on This Week in Gator Sports, I have just one question. What do you think Bohan's legacy is here as the Gators soccer head coach?
I mean, it's a strong one. I feel like every time we've talked to her, even just in post-game interviews and even pre-game interviews, like, she's very strong in who she was as a person. I think she was an integral part in that strength of the team. I think that she definitely paved the path for the upwards trail for these Gators, and I think that she will definitely leave a very positive legacy. I'm just so curious to see what comes out because, again, I'm very, very confused.
Absolutely.
But you know what? I truly am just excited for this team because I know that they have so far to go. And I know they have a lot of potential. Again, I'm shocked.
David, any parting thoughts for you?
If I had to say what I think her legacy would be, I think a stepping stone to getting back to a championship trail because it could have been her, but I think the foundation she laid with these players, with the new culture of Florida Gator soccer, and just with the connection that I felt this season that those Gators had with their fans, with the school as a whole, really will make a difference in the next few years.
Without question. That's David Lopez, Macy Meese, joining us here on This Week in Gator Sports. And breaking news, Samantha Bohan, no longer the Gators soccer head coach. Shocker. But be sure to check out all their coverage on WRUF.com moving forward, as they will be digging for answers for us and for you all to figure out what's next for Gator soccer. David, Macy, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Abigail Justice, and I'm here with
Gabe Salvat.
and we're playing This or That Gator Sports, a night or noon game at the Swamp.
Night.
Game versus FSU or Georgia?
FSU.
Gators in March Madness or the College World Series?
March Madness all the day.
1 point win or a blowout victory?
It's those blowout victories. We need those. We need those wins.
UF homecoming or a rivalry game?
Rivalry game.
Albert or Alberta?
Albert.
Go Gators or it's great to be a Florida Gator?
Let's go Gators.
And we're recording. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back here on This Week in Gator Sports Overtime, and right now we're joined by our men's basketball beat reporter, Jesse Bratman. And Jesse, you know, we're 2-0. Or not we, but Florida Gators men's basketball, 2-0. But it hasn't looked pretty.
2-0.
Are they not 2-0?
I wish we were 2-0.
Oh, shit. 2-1. I forgot about the Arizona game.
I wish we were
2-1, right?
Yeah, 2-1.
All right, let me restart this. 'Cause I even said we. I'm just all over the place.
Okay.
I totally forgot about that Arizona game last Monday.
Trust me, I wish I could forget about it too.
Oh, man. All right.
I was about to say we're 2-0 at home. I was like, oh. Ugh.
All right, here we go. You ready?
Yeah.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're back here on This Week in Gator Sports Overtime. Right now, we're joined by our WRUF men's basketball beat reporter, Jesse Bratman. He's been covering the season long, even before the season, but we are 3 games in, and the Gators 2-1. They're on a 2-game winning streak. But, Jesse, I won't say it's been as pretty as we expected, particularly, North Florida beating them by 40 points. And then you look at Tuesday night against Florida State, narrow victory there, 78-76, and there's a lot to be said about this team. It is early in the season. Obviously, there's some new faces as well. Only 3 games in, but there are some serious concerns as
100%.
we look at this roster, we look at this performance. Let's start off with the shooting struggles. if this is going to be a 3-point team, which it seems like Todd Golden is going with the analytics and going with the numbers, and they are certainly chucking up threes, you have to make them. And so far this season, the Gators aren't knocking them down.
Yeah, I mean, especially our transfer guard, Xavier Lee out of Princeton, shot 1 for 10 again against Florida State. He's 6 for 34 on the season. Not the best math guy, but gotta be close. Gotta be close to or less than 20%. Which he's a career 36% 3-point shooter. So the ball is just simple as this. It's gonna have to go in the basket eventually, right? And I think the Florida Gators, Todd Golden, like you said, very high on analytics, and you see like they're not abandoning the three, which for me kind of feels a little bit weird since the Gators are so long.
Yeah.
They can. Thomas Houck is 6'9" at the small forward, and you saw against FSU they dominated in points in the paint.
Right.
Alex Connon and Ruben Chinilu, they're playing high-low together. It's pretty much an unstoppable duo because Alex Connon was getting doubled against Florida State for the first time, and he has a wide-open man down low because both Florida State bigs are focused on Condon. So credit to Florida State. Before the game, they wanted to do two things: cause turnovers and make Florida shoot threes. And they did exactly that. Florida had a season-high 18 turnovers, really looked sloppy with the ball. Florida State was pressuring, especially Urban Clavzar when he was in the game. They were trapping him. And like we said against Arizona, when Urban's getting doubled, it's just he can't really see the court because he's 6'1" and two bigger defenders are on him. It's hard for him to make the right decision.
Yeah.
So credit to Florida State for doubling Condon and Urban, forcing those turnovers. They played very fast. They wanted Florida to play fast, and Florida matched their pace and shot a lot of threes. Again, didn't make the percentage they should have. And Florida State went 8 for 32. If that number is, 10, 11, this game, Florida won 78-60 or 78-76. It's a lot different. Florida State went really cold from three in the second half. So Florida State stuck to its game plan against Florida, and this game could have been a lot different. And, had Robert McCray, the fifth, had an opportunity to tie the game. 15 seconds left. He missed a free throw that would have tied the game.
Right, yep.
There were opportunities for Florida State. Florida was 17.5-point favorites coming into this game.
It's crazy when you think about that, Jesse. And I think, again, as we look at this team coming off a national championship, certainly there are going to be high expectations. The bullseye's on the back. And you look at last year in the start, it honestly is eerily similar in terms of the shooting woes that we're seeing from the Gators team. The question is going to be whether or not they can fix it with the bullseye on their back, because this season is different, right? Where every team is looking to make their mark against the defending champions and the Gators, so certainly tougher or facing tougher competition heading into this season. Now, when you look at some of the players, you talked about some of them, but Alex Condon, again, another lackluster performance. How is he the key to the Gators' success moving forward?
He's an AP All-American player, and quite honestly, he showed that with 25 points and a double-double against UNF, but that's against a mid-major program. Alex Condon got straight-up bodied by Koa Pete against Arizona, let him drop 30 points, guarding him the entire game. And then coming into FSU, another kind of lackluster performance, only took 5 shots.
Yeah.
You can't have your best player only taking 5 shots, and it just seems like he was scared to go up with the ball. He had open opportunities down low, and even at the three. I know the three ball hasn't been dropping for him, but your best player at the end of the day has to be taking shots, and we see that with Thomas Houck. He's dropping 20 probably each game because he's so aggressive. And when Florida needs a basket, they are going to Thomas Houck. They're saying, "Hey, get to your right, get downhill." Right. We saw a couple of dunks from Thomas Houck last night. He even sank 2 of 3 from 3, so that was a welcome sight, but. It seems like Alex is a little timid offensively.
Yeah.
Played a great game defensively, had 3 blocks, but you can't have your best player afraid to shoot. Simple as that. And when Condon is not willing to initiate offense, it really makes the Florida offense stagnant.
Yeah.
And you saw that against Florida State last night in a 2-possession game against a team we should have beaten by 20. So.
Yeah, without question. Now, you've been at men's basketball availability and have asked questions and heard Todd Golden speak. With the way this team has performed through the first 3 games, what are Golden's takeaways so far this season? What is he saying?
There are certainly silver linings with this team. It seems like, the narrative, this is a national championship team. You're shifting from being the hunter to the hunted this season. Definitely a mentality switch, and there are still some silver linings. Boogie Flan played an outstanding game. Finally hit his first 2 threes of the season, which was a very welcome sight after starting off 0 for 8. Boogie also had his first turnover of the season, so having your starting point guard only have 1 turnover through 3 games is very welcome.
Yeah.
Boogie's been playing well. Thomas Houck obviously been playing to a very high caliber level of basketball, cementing himself as, a future lottery pick right now. So I feel like the public is kind of overreacting a little bit. Todd's kind of saying, hush down. We're only 3 games into the year.
Okay.
And last year, Walter Clayton Jr., through his first game, shot 25% from 3.
Right.
Xavier Lee, a little bit, lower on the percentage. But Todd Golden yesterday said when he was asked about, are you going to stray away from Xavier and shooting 10 threes a game, he said he still has all the confidence in the world. And like what I like seeing from Xavier is, he's 1 for 10, but he is shooting the rock.
Yeah.
And when those shots start to fall, which, 36% three-point shooter, they will eventually, I'm just glad to see that the confidence isn't dwindling.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to be optimistic about. Todd Golden, obviously an amazing coach. And Ruben Chinyelu played an amazing game. He had a career-high 16 rebounds last night. So there are some performances that you are seeing that are getting better in 3 games in the season. Now against Duke and UConn, the Gators aren't going to be able to play like they have been in their 3 games. You saw it against number 13 Arizona, who's now 5. You're not going to be able to miss 30 shots a game against those formidable opponents. So
without question,
a lot to learn. But I think Todd Golden is still confident in the squad he has.
Yeah, and I'm just curious, Jesse. I mean, I think is the early season performance more an indictment on this roster? Or do you think that this is sort of an outlier? Do you agree with Todd Golden in that they will find a way to knock down these shots and they will look like the same dominant team that we saw? Well, not necessarily dominant. I mean, they won a lot of close games, but at least a national championship team. Will we see shades of that? Because if you ask me, I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. I mean, when you look at the Eagles, for example, coming off of their Super Bowl, they're still finding ways to win games. And, certainly they've had their bumps in the road this season. But I just haven't seen that same fire from this Gators team. And so my question for you is whether or not you believe Golden. Will they be able to find a way to look like a national championship team?
I certainly do believe him. At the end of the day, it's not like the Gators are getting clamped on defense and really forcing shots.
Yeah.
The shots they've been missing are pretty wide open, which is why I have some sort of optimism. And I think if you shift, the narrative to let's shoot a lot of threes because, 3 is greater than 2, and that's what the analytics say.
Right.
Florida has a backcourt of Thomas Houck, Alex Condon, Ruben Chinyelu, Micah Hanlon, all over 6'9". If you play those 4 in a high-low, I really don't see really any college basketball team being able to compete with the size they have. I would really like to see Todd Golden put more of an emphasis on his front court scoring-wise. Defensively, they kept the Gators in the game against Florida State with, 10 blocks, pushing tempo off of turnovers, leading in second chance points, offensive rebounds, and fast break points. That's what kept Florida in the game. Is it kept to its identity of hustle, offensive rebound, and blocking shots with its length. I would like to see that defensive emphasis transfer over on the offensive end.
Yeah.
I think there is a recipe for success. Yes, have we not seen that yet?
Yeah.
But we're 3 games into the season.
Right.
Todd Golden doesn't have his his rotation yet.
Yeah.
He's kind of been playing with the chess pieces with Isaiah Brown and C.J. Ingram. C.J. Ingram only got 1 minute to play last night. Isaiah Brown got like 6 minutes. Urban Clavzar played 20 minutes. So he's still figuring out his chess pieces he has on the bench. Obviously the season is young.
Yeah.
Am I concerned a little bit? Am I scared? No.
When you look at the crowd, you were at the game on Tuesday, Florida State rivalry game, obviously. Looking at the crowd, you're not panicked, but just the fan base. And we've seen some of the chatter on social media as well. But when you're inside the building, especially in that Florida State game, what's the sense that you get from this Gators fan base?
When we're up, we're up. When we're down, we're down, and they will let you hear it.
Yeah.
The Gators were down 40-37 at half, and I haven't heard the O-Dome quiet like that in a while. Just because you're expecting to punch Florida State in the mouth. Todd Golden has never lost to Florida State in his stint with Florida. This was Florida's 5th straight win against Florida State, and the precedent has always been we're a better basketball program. And when Florida State is leading at half, there's going to be some crickets, but, Boogie Flan hit his first 3 of the year to make it a 2-point game. The O-Dome was rocking. I know Ruben Chinyelu had a lob from Alex Condon that tied the game. That had the O-Dome rocking. So,
yeah.
I mean, they call the Florida Gators fans the 6th man for a reason. When the Gators are jumping, the O-Dome is also jumping with it.
Yeah.
So, as long as Florida can maintain, make it a close game, that 6-man mentality, it really is an advantage for Florida.
Yeah, without question, especially playing at home now. Looking ahead, they'll be away from home in Jacksonville. Another in-state rival in Miami against the Hurricanes. You look at Miami, undefeated right now, led by Malik Renew and Trey Donaldson as well. What's your takeaway, or what's your preview, I should say, heading into that matchup, especially from what we've seen from the Gators through this first 3 games?
Yeah, Miami is a more talented team than Florida State. Like you said, Malik Reneau and Trey Donaldson. Malik comes from Indiana. Trey Donaldson played at Auburn his freshman year as a starter. He started at point guard and then went to Michigan as a starting point guard. So he has a lot of college basketball experience, a little better than Robert McCray, who came from Jacksonville. Malik Reneau was one of the best big men in the Big 12, got a huge NIL at Miami. So this is a better team that you're seeing, and in a new, quote-unquote neutral location. So it's probably going to be, maybe 55-45 Florida in this matchup.
Yeah.
Florida is going to have to play to its standard of basketball. I would really like to see them avoid shooting as many threes as they are, unless, they finally figure out how to knock it in. But I just think the game plan in the Florida, again, it's going to have height on almost any team in the country. Malik Reneau is only 6'9", and he's their starting center. So once again, and even FSU, Florida had so much height on them and really still stuck to the perimeter. You saw Todd Golden play a lineup of Clavzar, Fland, and Lee, which I thought was a little interesting, because why go with 3 guards when size is the advantage?
Right.
So I don't think they'll go 3 guard against Miami. I really think they're on getting the ball down low, dominating on offensive rebound, defensive rebound, points in the paint. And I think that is the recipe to success, unless the Florida Gators can finally figure out how to get it in from 3. Boogie Fland really showed me some optimism that the first 3 he made was off a pick and roll, off the dribble, and it just seemed like he wasn't thinking. His other 8 attempts, it thought man, I haven't made it yet. There's kind of a lid on the rim.
Yeah.
The first 3 he made, it felt smooth, it felt in rhythm, and he got and once you get a couple of threes going, he had a lucky corner 3, he got a little bounce, nice shooter's touch, as he said in his presser. When you're hot, you're hot. So I hope Boogie can really take over offensively as well against Miami. Is this a very winnable game? Yes. If Florida comes out like it played in the first half against FSU, it's probably going to be a lot bigger of a deficit than 3. And crawling, from a double-digit deficit against Miami, it's going to be a tough task. So
yeah,
I'm very excited to see.
Joined by Jesse Bratman, our WRUF men's basketball beat reporter. Jesse, let's call it. What's your prediction? Do the Gators get a win? Do they improve to 3-1, or do they drop to 500?
I think this is going to be a Gators win. Should be a Gators double-digit win. I think this Florida State game really, ignited a fire. And never should they have been trailing in that game, let alone for how long they did. I think there's finally going to be some fire. There's finally some more confidence in our backcourt. Yeah. Even Urban Clavzar, who's been getting a bulk of the bench minutes, hit a huge corner 3 at the end of the game to make it 74-70. I'm sure that was his first 3 of the game also. So there's some momentum after Florida State. I think this is a statement game because Miami is the best team they've faced since Arizona.
WRUF Gainesville, W251CG Gaines, WRUF FM, HD2, and the WRUF radio app. The following is a Learfield presentation of the Gators Sports Network. Live from Miller's Ale House in Celebration Point, this is Gator Talk, presented by Dreamfinders Homes, building throughout Florida, official home builder of the Gators. Gator Talk is also brought to you by UF Health. At UF Health, we believe human progress has no finish line. Visit humanprogress.ufhealth.org to learn more. Melvin Law, official injury and accident law firm sponsor of the Florida Gators. We won't back down. Hellman's Real Mayonnaise. Do dip with Hellman's and do no wrong. And by Wells Fargo, official retail bank of the Florida Gators. Now let's go to Miller's Ale House at Celebration Point in Gainesville. Here's the voice of the Gators, Sean Kelley.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome to Gator Talk. Greetings from Miller's Ale House tonight. Nice crowd on hand as we get set for the football game this weekend. The Gators on the road for the final time this weekend for the season. Hard to believe. 2 home games still to go, but the last road game has arrived. We'll talk about Florida at number 6, Ole Miss, and we're here until 8 o'clock tonight. Sean Kelley, good to be back with you. Steve Egan is our producer and engineer tonight. Miles Graham will be with us a little bit later. What a season he's been having. A real leader of this football team. And, of course, we'll kick off the hour with the man to my left here at Miller's Ale House tonight. That's the interim head coach of the Gators. Please welcome, everybody, Billy Gonzales.
Thank you.
Coach, great to see you.
Appreciate you.
I'll start with transitioning from the game last week against Kentucky and into a new week of preparation. How and what did you take away from the way the team played at Lexington and then move forward into this new week?
Well, I think the first thing, we didn't play anywhere near where we needed to play, and I think that was addressed. And I think anytime you have a group of young men that you're having an opportunity to lead, the first and foremost, you have to be honest with them. You have to be transparent with them, and they've got to understand that there's ownership that's involved on their part equally as much as it on our part. But we moved rather quick. We talked about correcting the things that we needed to do, obviously, and then we moved rather quick to Ole Miss in putting our focus on the game that's ahead of us.
Coach, any competitor would not have expected the way the team played last week. So did it surprise you in any way?
Yeah, absolutely. I think one thing that you can kind of look at is you get behind early, and what you find out in college athletics and really anywhere, when you have a bunch of great football players or competitors, you get behind early, and what happens is you get these athletes that want to say, I'm going to go ahead and I can make the play myself. I can do it. And what happens is people start pressing. We saw that offensively. We started pressing in some decisions. And then defensively, it's the same thing. I was talking to our defensive line coach, and he said, what happens is some of these, they want to make the play. And all of a sudden, instead of holding that gap where they're supposed to and letting the linebacker fill the hole or the fit from the secondary, I can make the play, and I move a little bit. Now all of a sudden, I'm in the wrong position, which opens up a bigger seam. So it all plays on each other. I talked about being able to play complementary football where offense and defense and special teams, they all rely on one another. So you share in the success of when you are successful, you share in those success together, but you also understand you got to accept the failures together as a team as well.
Those failures make one of the things that you've talked to your team about here recently more difficult, in that Coach Gonzales has been talking to the team about persistence, being persistent on the task at hand, or in the longer form, in the project that is what would be, in this case, a complete season.
Sure.
And Coach, when a team and young people have failures in that journey, if you will, that persistence part becomes all the more challenging.
It is.
Even at our age,
Sure.
It does. How do you help them work through that or learn that life lesson?
Well, I think first and foremost, you can be, again, I said honesty and transparency. You can really talk individually with the players when they know that you care about them. And you can open up a little bit more, and they'll open up to you when they know that you really have their best interest. And I'm a big fan of Coach Billy Donovan. Coached here for 19 years, won a couple national championships, the 2020 NBA Coach of the Year, obviously. But part of building things, and when you start talking about corrections, there was a great video. I showed the team this today. It was a minute 8 seconds, and I'll kind of read this on just different things because I thought it hit home with our players. People talk about, well, you did this, you did that, and I'm more in teaching life lessons. I'm more in trying to build people, trying to refocus and reset players. But I'll read it kind of what the video said, and it was awesome. But these are the words of Coach Donovan, and he's talking about mistakes are going to happen, and he said, but it's how you collectively respond to overcome what's in front of you, regardless of what's going on. And the more we can play and care for each other, regardless of what you're going through individually, is critically important, and that's what this team has to do. I said, I think that this is the stuff that creates the consistency that we need. So to me, that hit home when I saw the video. So we put it up on the big board for the team to see today, right before we hit the field.
Yeah, you're talking and you're messaging to a much larger group now as the head coach.
Yes, sir.
And you're a couple weeks now on the job in that sense. It's one thing to have the voice of a position coach, a member of a staff. It's another thing to find a voice as the head coach.
Sure.
How have you been able to find your voice in this new way?
Well, I've done it no different than I do with the receivers. When you have a long time ago, I had a coach that taught me, listen, you've been the head coach of your position meeting room for 30-plus years now. So you've coached receivers for 30-plus years. You've had 18 to 19 individuals in your room. You care about them. You love them. You take care of them. You coach them hard. You push them. You motivate them. You lead them. And when you become a head coach, or in my case, the interim head coach, you just be yourself still. You're the same individual. You just got a larger number that you're caring about and you're taking care of. That has not changed. The one thing that I would probably say is I kind of, being put into this position, the one thing that I have done is every day try to build a relationship with these players. So as soon as we go out to practice, I'm there trying to motivate. I'm trying to high five. I'm giving rocks. I'm shaking the hands as the players leave the locker room to the football field. So again, for me to build that, try to build a relationship with the players that I have not necessarily been around the majority of the time. My receiver room, I know those guys. Right. They know me. After practice, as soon as practice is over, we bring them up, we break them down. But again, for me, I'm standing at the locker room door as they come in off the practice field so I can hug them up. Again, it's been a hard practice, whatever I've talked to them about. But to me, that's how you build a relationship. And in order to be able to coach someone hard, in my opinion, really to, per se, get after them, to try to motivate them, to make sure that you're coaching them hard, you have to have a relationship. And for me, the last 3 weeks was really an opportunity for me to try to bridge that gap, to build a relationship so they can see me as an individual that has their best interest to help them be successful. So yesterday was kind of, if you were to ask Miles, yesterday I kind of went a little further in the motivational piece at the end of practice to make sure that we were going the right way. But again, I would not have done that the first 2 weeks because I was still building the trust and they're still getting to know me. But I feel that they have an understanding of who I am at this point, and my responsibility is to be a coach, to be a leader, to motivate, and to push them.
No doubt. I was at practice yesterday.
Yes,
I was
sir.
at the end of practice yesterday.
Sir. Yes, sir.
That's what prompted my question about finding your voice as a head coach.
Yes, sir.
It was loud and strong.
It should have been.
Yes, it should have been. All right, with that being said, we'll take our first break. Still to come, audience questions as well. We've got a couple of giveaways tonight. Our show here at Miller's Ale House, as always, presented by Dream Finders Homes, official home builders of the Florida Gators. We continue with Billy Gonzales after these messages on the Gators Sports Network from Learfield.
Today's highlight is brought to you by Toyota. At home or on the road, they're never the underdog. Toyota. Let's go places. Lease a new 2025 Toyota Tacoma SR5 for $279 a month for 36 months. Offer valid through December 1st, 2025. Well-qualified lessees with approved credit through Southeast Toyota Finance. $4278 due at signing. No security deposit. With select equipment. $350 disposition fee. Excludes tax tag registration, title, and dealer fees. See dealer for details.
Hey Gator Nation, this is Vicki Brown-Worski, Director of Gators and Powell Hurt. As the Bank of Doing and official sponsor of Florida Athletics, Wells Fargo is supporting our student athletes on and off the field with interactive financial health curriculum and empowerment resources. Wells Fargo has a game plan for the full student athlete experience from their first semester on campus through graduation. Learn more about what Wells Fargo is doing to put people and communities first by visiting wellsfargo.com/impact.
Hey, college football fans, I know you'd do anything for a win on game day and an ice-cold Bud Light. Because whether you're tailgating in the parking lot or parked on the couch, sitting on your lucky stool at the bar, or standing in the fans section all game long, the clean, crisp taste of Bud Light turns a win into a win-win. And there's nothing easier to enjoy than that. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
This is Gator Talk, presented by Dream Finders Homes on the Gators Sports Network from Learfield.
Spurrier's Gridiron Grill is a special type of place for Gator fans and fans of great food, which is why we made every day special. Join us on Martini Tuesdays for half off our handcrafted martinis and wine Wednesdays, where you can enjoy a bottle of wine for 50% off. On Old Fashioned Thursdays, indulge in our selection of 8 classic old-fashioned cocktails. And of course, don't forget Sunday brunch. And now you can look special in some of our great merchandise. Available at the restaurant or online at spurriers.com. Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, the hottest restaurant in Florida in the heart of Gator Nation.
At the UPS Store, we get it. Being a small biz owner requires grit and hustle, but you don't have to do it alone. We've got your back. You put your heart and soul into your biz, we put ours into packing and shipping. While you're keeping track of your custom-made orders, our mailboxes are keeping your packages safe. Because we're here to help you be unstoppable with shredding, printing, notary, and more. Most locations are independently owned. Product, services, pricing, and hours of operation may vary. See Center for details. The UPS Store. Be unstoppable. Come into your local store today.
Every Gator football game all season long, right here on WRUF, 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and 103.7 HD2.
Live from Miller's Ale House in Celebration Point, you're listening to Gator Talk, presented by Dreamfinders Homes. Once again, here's Sean Kelley.
Gators, don't forget, next week we're back home. That means you can score a taste touchdown at the tailgate with Hellman's, the official mayonnaise of Florida Athletics. Sean Kelley back with you live from Miller's Ale House tonight. Our next to last Gator Talk of the fall. We'll do it again next Thursday, and Billy Gonzales will be here, and we'll be leading into that Tennessee game. We'll look forward to that 7 o'clock next week. We continue with Coach as we get ready for the game at Ole Miss this weekend. Coach, you addressed it with me in a television format on Monday. You've been speaking to the media about it. But for those listening tonight across the state or here at Miller's Ale House, just let's put a wrap on the quarterback conversation that dates back to last Saturday. Sure. You played Langley in the first half, Jones in the second half. And then you mentioned on Monday, hey, look, DJ's still QB number 1. He'll take reps with the ones throughout practice this week. How has that evolved? And what do you think was gained by, as you said on Monday, kind of allowing DJ to step back and look at it maybe a little differently?
Well, first and foremost, I don't, as the coach that made the decision, whether he was playing or not, I don't call it benching anybody. I call it being able to pull him out of the game, let him reset and refocus. That's kind of how I've always approached it. So you have an opportunity, and kind of what we talked about, I use the analogy of a baseball pitcher in the major leagues, and we talked about that in the fact that there's going to be some days that you're not having a great day. We've all seen the major leagues where the pitchers aren't playing great, but the difference between college football, NFL football, and then the major leagues, you're in the limelight as a quarterback. There's one quarterback that's taking the majority of the reps. That doesn't mean that when you compare the difference with Major League Baseball, if one of the starter or the reliever or they've got a multitude of pitchers, and if that pitcher's not doing great, they don't let him struggle. They tap it and they bring the next one in. The next one comes in and he has an opportunity to play. And you know what it is? That's kind of what it is. You don't let somebody struggle. You don't let somebody have to fight through it when you have somebody else. And it's a learning process. And again, like I said, I don't consider it by any means a benching. I pulled him. So it was a reset, refocus moment for him. Look at it from the outside in and continue to go. And this week he's been on fire. He's had a really good week of practice. I'm excited. And, I shared this yesterday with some of the media, but Marcus Gilbert, longtime offensive lineman that played for us back when we won a couple national championships in the early 2000s. He played 10 years in the NFL, 8 with the Steelers, and 2 with the Cardinals. After practice the other day, I walked upstairs and we're getting ready to watch film, and lo and behold, I'm looking down the hall and I'm like, Marcus? And he came up, hugged me real quick, and he was with his family, his wife, his sister-in-law, and his kids. And he was on his way down to. He lives in Atlanta now, in North. He was coming from vacationing, I should say, but he was on his way down to Disney World. So we stopped, he talked, and I said, let me show you around the facility. So I took him around the offices. We took him into the coaching staff, getting a chance to meet some people. And This is about an hour after practice. So we walked downstairs. I said, let me show you the weight room. Let me show you the indoor facility. We walked down there, and we had a good little chuckle when we got down towards the indoor facility. I said, listen, he was like, Coach, this is beautiful. And I said, I know. Look at this, up there on the signs where it says, the 2 national championships. And I said, listen, someday I'm going to walk over there into the parking garage, and I'm going to spray paint indoor facility for the 2006 2008 national championship, because that was our indoor facility. He started laughing because whenever it rained or lightning, we had to get off the practice fields, and the only place we could go was we'd have to go in the parking garage, and that's where we practiced. We parked just right there. We practiced. Offense was in the parking garage, and defense went over underneath the baseball stadium. So that's where they finished up with their practice. But anyways, it was an hour after practice, and we walked in the indoor facility, and there's one young man over there. He had his headphones on just as we do right now, and he was in his uniform still, pads on, and he was by himself, nobody else around, and he was doing drops. He was practicing his footwork. He was dropping, and it was DJ. He was in there an hour after practice with his headphones on, and I kind of got goosebumps. I'm talking about it right now. Just tells you what kind of character it is to him, what it means to him to be able to excel at a high level and to do that after practice for an hour. Nobody involved, him by himself. So it meant a lot to me to see him out there.
He is a competitor who does not like losing at anything. I have learned that about DJ over the last 2 seasons with him. Coach, we all want him to do well in case he would need another step-back moment. Tramell Jones Jr. did step in for you in the second half. You have said, and we all are aware in the building, that you and your staff monitor, obviously, especially this time of year, with regard to players in a more developmental situation. How many games have they played? Is a red shirt still in play here, that kind of thing? With Tramell Jones Jr., how do you go about that process of looking at 3 games to go, hope I don't need him? If I do, how do I manage that?
Well, first and foremost, you just got to play the game that you're getting ready to play.
Okay.
I know what's in play with what you just said with the 2 to 3 games, but the most important piece for us right now is we got 1 game ahead of us right now, and that's what we're looking for. If we get to the 3rd game and it's an issue that we got to talk about, then we'll do it at that time. But it was good to see him get in there and get a chance to get his first SEC action. And people were asking about, well, are they going to switch reps? I've been coaching wide receivers for 30-plus years, and, how I've always done this was, first and foremost, I think it's critical for any quarterback to have an opportunity to rotate with the receivers. I think if you're going to have a chance to play, you better be thrown to the 1s and the 2 wide receivers, because that's the most important piece, critical timing. And every receiver is different. Every receiver runs routes differently, so you've got to have that timing. And that takes time over rhythm of throwing rhythm steps, whether it's 3-step, 5-step, but that timing, and that takes tons of reps. But what we do at practice, and everybody asks, well, are you going to rotate him with the 1s and the 2s? I rotate the wide receivers. So my receivers are constantly rotating. Tramell's thrown to the 1s, the 2s, the 3s. DJ's thrown to the 1s, the 2s, the 3s all season long. And I think that's the critical piece. So I don't think it's as important to say, is he getting reps with the 1s or the 2s? No, because the 1s and the 2s and the 3 wide receivers rep consistently. And that's how I've always done it for 30-plus years.
And that's the way it is, yes, each day of practice. Coach, before we get to this next break, I do want to shine a light on one other young man, and that's Devin Moore.
Sure.
And this struck me in getting my game prep ready for this week. I'm a big fan of Devin Moore. He's had an on-the-field impact this year. It's his best year yet. 2 interceptions, forced fumble. But here's kind of what struck me. Here's a guy that earlier in his career struggled with some injuries. He, friends, has already now passed his career high in snaps and in games played. 429 snaps as opposed to 278. That was his previous career high. 9 games as opposed to 7, which was his previous career high. And he's not committed a penalty in the last 2 seasons. 2 pass interference calls in 58 career targets. I guess I didn't appreciate him as much as I wanted to or as I needed to, so I wanted to bring him up tonight.
He's a fantastic player. He's having a monster season for us. A pure professional. He trains that way. He practices that way. And the results show when he goes out on the field on Saturdays.
Without a doubt. And your receivers have been going up against him now all season
absolutely.
long. We'll take a break. When we get back, audience questions, and we'll preview the Ole Miss Rebels. We'll continue after these messages on the Gator Sports Network from Learfield.
Gator fans, your dream home is closer than you think. Dreamfinders Homes, the official home builder of the Florida Gators and the 2025 National Builder of the Year, is offering incredible interest rate incentives across communities in Jacksonville, Orlando, and Tampa. Whether you're a first-time buyer or ready to upgrade, there's no better time than now to start owning, and we have the home for you. Start your search today at dreamfindershomes.com. Dreamfinders Homes, built for Florida, built for Gators.
My husband, Steve, was diagnosed with prostate cancer. They only gave him months to live. That was years ago. Now, he's out there, under the tree. Nature photography is his thing. And apparently, so is catching poison ivy.
Oof, so itchy. UF Health. Human progress has no finish line.
Are you ready for some Gators football excitement, fans? Get ready to take your game day experience to the next level with Janet King Commercial Cleaning Services, the ultimate partner for a winning clean. Janet King has been a leader in the commercial cleaning industry for over 50 years, providing top-notch commercial cleaning services to businesses across Florida and beyond. Not only does Janet King provide exceptional game day cleaning, but they also offer tailored cleaning solutions for all types of businesses. For commercial cleaning services, go to janetking.com. That's JANIKING.com.
This is Gator Talk, presented by Dreamfinders Homes on the Gators Sports Network from Learfield.
Selling your house the traditional way takes time. Agents, showings, repairs, fees. It's a hassle. But what if you could skip it all and sell your home for cash fast? At House Buyer Network, we buy homes in any condition. No commissions, no closing costs, no cleaning, no repairs. Whether it's inherited, outdated, or you're behind on payments, we'll make you a fair cash offer within 24 hours. Close in as little as 7 days. Thousands have sold the easy way. Now it's your turn. Call 833-464-0827 for your free no-obligation cash offer. That's 833-464-0827. House Buyer Network. Real cash, real fast. That toll-free number once again to call, 833-464-0827.
This is former Gator quarterback Shane Matthews, and you're listening to the home of Gator football, WRUF 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and 103.7 HD2.
Gator Talk, presented by Dreamfinders Homes, continues. For more of tonight's show, here's Sean Kelley.
Finally, a home game next week. We're back at it next week. Yet to get that kickoff time. We know it's going to be 3:30 or later when Tennessee comes to town next week. That means on Friday night as well that we'll have a Chomp the Block right here across the street at Celebration Point. That begins at 6 p.m., and that block party, of course, will have all kinds of music and food and games, and a great way to kick off the football weekend. It'll be the day after, obviously, we get our weekend started with Gator Talk. Don't forget to visit your local Toyota dealers and take advantage of great offers on Toyota trucks during Truck Month. There's no wrong way to truck, so truck with a 2025 Tundra or Tacoma. Toyota, let's go places. Billy Gonzales here with us. Miles Graham is in the building, and he will join us just past the bottom of the hour. Coach, a couple of audience questions teed up for you.
Yes,
good
sir.
with that?
Yes, sir.
Let's start with the usual here, shall we? Well, hold on. We got to get your mic working there. There we go. All right.
We're giving Sue the question.
Hi, Coach. Hi, Sean.
Hello.
Hi, Miss Sue.
How are you?
I'm well. Thank you very much.
Good. We're ready. Sean had mentioned we're going to talk about Ole Miss. So really my first question is about Ole Miss. Looking at the statistics, high-powered offense, quarterback that can run and pass. Definitely their passing yards and their receiving core is pretty strong. How are we working this week with the defense, with the tackling, with the solo tackles, group tackles? How are we dealing with that with this high-powered offense?
Well, first and foremost, I talked to the press about this yesterday as well too. They do a great job defensively. They've done a good job. We've individual periods, and for me, I get a chance to walk around and see them work. You got the defensive line hitting the big heavy sleds. You got the backers. They're working top shoulder with Mike Peake off the edge. We talked about that yesterday. To the team after practice, off the rush, being able to how important it is when he's talking about top shoulder. Means I'm coming around the bag or an offensive line and being able to work the top side shoulder if he's in a passing position, which is going to be critical because he is a very good athlete, very comparable to LSU's quarterback a couple of years ago that could move and run. Trinidad's a really good runner. He's fast on the perimeter. We've got to do a great job of containing him in the pocket. And then again, he's once he gets down into the gold zone, red zone, gold zone area, he's a willing runner. He's willing to run power. When they can buy an extra blocker with the running back. But defensively, they've had a really good week. And I think the biggest thing is the communication piece has been the important piece that we want to make sure that they continue to work on. But it's been a good week of practice, and I get a chance to, after practice today, before I come over on Thursdays, usually get a chance to see the coaches up in the locker room right before we leave and ask them how it went. And then I asked one of the quality control assistants, and I said, how did it go today? And he said, the defense got out, and he runs the scout team, but he said the defense got after us today. So it was a good day. Well improved from last week. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Sue, thank you. Sue, you mentioned tackling, by the way. Here's a tackling stat for you. Gators have missed 65 tackles this season. You're going to miss some tackles, right? 65 at this point. You know what it was at this point last year? 144. So they cut it by about 60%, if you want to use that number. And the Gators now have picked off a quarterback in 7 straight games. In case you're wondering, the record is 12 straight by the 08 Gators.
There we go.
Yes. So who else have we got from the audience tonight?
We got Daniel here, who's a senior at Trinity Catholic.
Hi, Daniel.
Hi, Coach.
Hey, Daniel. How are you?
I'm doing well. So there's a lot of unknown about next year's staff.
Sure.
But if given possibility, would you come back or would you like to start something new somewhere else?
Well, I think that's obviously going to be up to whoever has the opportunity to come here more than anything else. I think the biggest thing for me is I've got an affinity for Florida. I've loved wearing the orange and blue, and to me it's a special place. I go back to, obviously my daughter was born here in Gainesville 20 years ago, so it's a special place.
Thanks for the question. Appreciate it. Before I ask you about any other Ole Miss things, we're good for the moment? Good, because, Coach, you kind of dug in there pretty good on Ole Miss's offense.
Yes.
What are the Gators up against when it comes to Ole Miss's defense this Saturday?
Sure. I think they've got a really good defense. What they do well, I got some notes here. They defend a third down pass really, really well. 26% success rate allowed, so which is really good for them. Based off statistics, they generate pressure faster on third down, reaching the quarterback at a 0.3 seconds faster on third down compared to first and second. So they kind of pin back their ears a little bit and get a chance to try to put some pressure. They play drop 8, which is kind of more of a coverage type defense. They use drop 8 coverage more than double the rate of the FBS average. So they're going to play coverage in the back end a little bit more. They will, however, like I said, whether they're rushing 3 or 4, they do get to the quarterback pretty quick. So, they're a solid team. But we've got to be ready. They're gonna run a lot of stunts, high stunt twist game up front. They're quick. They're aggressive. They're big up front. They've got a 51 for them. He's 6'7", 330, and he's a big, strong kid up in the front. Then you've got 52, Will Eccles, 6'3", 310. He's probably the quicker of the 2 interior defenders. And then they've got their team leader is Prince Will, and he leads their team in tackles for losses with 8 and for sacks with 4.5. So they do a good job. I think people, obviously people talk about their offense a lot, but significantly their defense is pretty salty. They've opponent third down conversions. They rank 4th in the SEC. And then passing yards per game, they rank 3rd in the SEC. So solid defense, absolutely.
Coach, when they want to do the drop 8 coverage, obviously then that can be a mix of man and zone.
Sure.
What are the tricks to figure out which downs or what particular situations they want to drop 8? Can you count the box? Can you motion them? How do you do it?
Yeah, they're statistically you can kind of go through based off the breakdowns of when they're going drop 8, when they're going to play base defense. if you were to go in the third and medium category, or I should say third and 6 to 9 is when you're going to get a high rate of pressure. You're going to get your stunts. You're going to get your pick games. They're going to bring blitzes. Whether it's a linebacker, whether it's a safety pressure, they're going to or nickel star pressure. And then once you get to third and 9 plus, that's when you're going to get your drop. You're going to get your high probability of a drop 8, and they'll play what we call 53 plus, which is a one high shell. And they're predominantly a one high shell, but they'll play one high shell. They'll bring the safeties, a safety and a star down at about a 12 to 15 yard box, and they kind of just mirror the quarterback. They'll play deep thirds with the safety, deep thirds with the corner. They'll drop up underneath it, rush 3. And then they'll play that underneath coverage with their safeties kind of being a rovers. What we call 4 mole plus, which is kind of a same version, except for now that they're playing 3 deep, essentially at around 12 yards, or sticks, basically where the first down markers are, with a drop 8 tendency. But you can kind of get a beat on based off of what down and distance that they're going to play. First and second down, there's a mixture, and if they do play drop 8, they're not going to play it deep. They're going to play a little bit more tighter to the box.
Stay ahead of the chains.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. All right. We got time for one more before the break.
All right, here we go, Jose.
Okay, Coach, how you doing?
I'm great. Thank you, Jose.
Okay. Do you think the rotated quarterbacks maybe work good this year?
Well, I think first and foremost, I think DJ's had a really good week of practice. But I mentioned this before. I think competition is always good. No matter who you are, no matter where you're at, competition is great. The great teams that I've been a part of, the championship teams that we've had here, there was some great quarterbacks that rotated and competed with each other. You had Chris Leak, you had Tim Tebow, you had Cam. You had a bunch of great quarterbacks that were competing with one another and pushing one another. And it's no different at any other position. Chris Rainey stopped by earlier this week and had a chance to visit with him, and you kind of had him and Jeff Demps were competing consistently with one another. Keaston Moore, who was a little bit bigger back in the day. But you have this receiver position. We had a bunch of receivers and that competed at a high level, and it's no different than the players we have right now. I'm looking over here at Miles. He's competing. He's one of the great competitors and leaders of this football team. So you want competition. You want to keep pushing each other, and I think that's how you sharpen your skill level.
All right, audience, thank you very much. Nice job tonight. We've got a big guest coming up. Coach just alluded to that. It's yours in just a moment. Ready to kick off your retirement? If you don't have a defensive financial plan that includes the best offense for your goals, visit guardingyournestegg.com to meet Talon Wealth, the official wealth management team of the Florida Gators. Compensation paid to Learfield for partnership with the Gators. Gator Talk presented by Dream Finders Homes continues from Miller's Ale House after this on the Gator Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey Gators, Chris Doring here. Growing up in Gainesville, my dream was to be a Florida Gator. I was honored to be a part of a team that changed it all in the mid-90s. Drawing on that same determination and work ethic, myself and my team at Chris Doring Mortgage put forth relentless effort to get our clients to the closing table and into a home they love. Find out how we can help you with a purchase loan or a refinance. Visit ChrisDoringMortgage.com.
Chris Doring Mortgage, powered by MortgageAdvisors.com. NMLS 701-68193-7321. Equal housing lender.
Every great team is built on a solid game plan, sharp execution, and total trust in the crew beside you. At Quality Plumbing, we bring that same championship mindset to every job we do. For over 40 years, we've been the starting lineup for homes and businesses across North Central Florida, delivering reliable service, expert craftsmanship, and big wins for our customers. Call us today or visit QualityPlumbing.com. We're your first string team. License number CFC 043073.
If an insurance company is there to sell you insurance, shouldn't it also be there to service it with real people? At Florida Farm Bureau Insurance, we're here to help. We're focused on your specific needs. That's why we have local agents working for you in every county across the state, offering competitive rates and fast, friendly service. It's more than insurance. It's the kind of treatment you deserve. Find a local agent at ffbic.com to set up your free, no-obligation insurance review. Farm Bureau Insurance, helping you is what we do best. Proud to support Gators Athletics.
This is Gator Talk, presented by Dreamfinders Homes on the Gators Sports Network from Learfield.
The defending national champion Florida Gators are tipping off another great season. Would you like a championship entertainment experience in your home? The pros at Electronics World can connect you with Sony, LG, Samsung, Yamaha, Martin Logan, Marantz, Bowers & Wilkins, Sonos, Monitor Audio, and more. So you can immerse yourself in every slam dunk and three-pointer. From concept to design and installation, count on EW for the assist with your home entertainment. Electronics World in Gainesville or online at electronicsworld.net.
There's a new place to gather under the oaks, the Whistling Duck at Candler Hills Golf Club. Enjoy Southern-inspired cuisine, craft cocktails, and the kind of hospitality that makes you feel right at home. From our signature burger to our wood-fired mushroom and grits, every bite made with care and a little Ocala flavor. The Whistling Duck, a Southern American tavern that's full of flavor, laughter, and good company. Visit us online at whistlingduckocala.com.
Every Gator football game all season long, right here on WRUF 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and 103.7 HD2.
This is Gator Talk, presented by Dreamfinders Homes, your home for all things orange and blue. Once again, here's Sean Kelley.
Does your pet bleed orange and blue just like you? Enter the Florida Credit Union Pen of the Game contest and earn wagging rights all season long. Submit a photo of your pet showing off their Gator pride. You can win gift cards to the UF Bookstore and Gallo Car Wash, plus a VIP ticket package to the Florida State game. It's just a couple of weeks away. To be eligible to win Pen of the Year honors, of course, you have to submit, and of course, to be a part of that big VIP package. Enter today at flcu.org/FCUPETS. Sean Kelley with Coach Billy Gonzales. Coach, would you mind introducing our player guest this week, who's now seated in between us?
Absolutely. We got Miles Graham with us here today, and you talk about somebody that bleeds blue and orange. I'll tell you what now, he's it means a lot to him, and he knows what it means to put the colors on. He knows what it means to play for the patch. A leader of our defense in the middle, played in every game last year for us, has started every game this year for us, was a SEC all-freshman last year, and equally important and probably the most impressive to me is, not just was he an SEC all-freshman team, but he was an academic honor roll all-SEC last year, and that means a ton to me. And he's on our leadership committee, and when I say that, there's a group of players that I get a chance to meet with, and he's on that. That means he was selected. So by his peers, by his coaching staff, he is respected by both. A leader, like I said, heartbeat of the defense, and I'm super excited to have him here with us tonight.
No, I am too. This is a young man that I enjoy seeing all the time when he's doing his work over at the Heavener facility. Welcome to Miles Graham, everybody. When you think about the things that Coach just said, you seem comfortable. Was it uncomfortable hearing those things about you?
No, I don't feel like it was uncomfortable, man. I know how Coach Billy G feels about me, and I feel the same way about him. He bleeds orange and blue just like I do. So having a guy and playing for a guy like that, man, it means the world to me.
The wide receivers I talked to a couple weeks back said, wait till all my teammates get a load of Billy Gonzales as he became the interim head coach. Were they right? Did they sell it just fine to you?
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't get to work with Coach Gonzales as much as I wanted to, and they sold it. They did. My locker mate is T.J. Abrams, and he got me ready. He got me my mind right for Coach Gonzales, man. He's fired up all the time. He loves the players. He's a players coach for sure. So he's a great leader as well.
Coach mentioned you're on the Leadership Council. This is a group that meets weekly formally, but I'm sure you guys meet informally all the time. What are the conversations like right now amongst the leaders of this football team?
Yeah, I mean, obviously with the circumstances, we want to be better. So we just come together a lot, and we talk about what we need to do with Coach Gonzales and without him. So we talk about how we can attack the game, how we need to attack practice, how we need to have a better practice than last week, and what that consists of. Having great communication, focus, technique, attention to details, and what that consists of. So,
were you nervous at all about being a sophomore and stepping into the leadership role that you were assuming over the summer?
No, I wasn't as much nervous. I felt like I was ready for it. I had a great leader before me, Shamar James. He played the same position as me, and I played behind him, and I learned a lot from him throughout my whole freshman year. So he's a great player now. He's playing for the Cowboys now, and he's doing his thing. So having a guy like that in front of me really prepared me for where I'm at now. So this whole offseason, I was working on becoming a more vocal leader, leading the guys, and that was more important to me than, honestly, the football part, because that came more natural to me. So being a leader is really what, the coaches expected from me and the players, and that's what I'm trying to become.
We love our legacy players. You're one of those. We're blessed to have several in our program and across different sports, too. Obviously, there's one on the basketball team now that quickly comes to mind with the last name of Ingram right now. Of course, your old man, and I say that with all due respect, Ernest was a great running back here with the Gators. I'm curious, when you talked about your readiness to be a leader, what did you take from Dad, but yet at the same time, how did you balance becoming your own Gator? He's a Gator, you had to become your own Gator.
Yeah, I mean, growing up, I always loved the University of Florida, and that was mostly because of him. So I always wanted to go here, and just coming here and making a name for myself was important to me, because everybody always knows my dad. Everybody loves my dad, and that's great. And I just want to make a name for myself, just apart from him. That's why my first name is actually Ernest. That's why I go by Miles, because I didn't want to go by Ernest. I love him to death, but I didn't want to go by Ernest and everything. So coming here and making a name for myself is important, man. And I'm living out my dream.
So many of our players come from other places, right? Whether it be in-state or out of state, you came across town in that sense. Was there something unique about that transition to be here in the same town, but yet make that jump?
Yeah, no, I loved it. I honestly loved it. I went to every home game here. Obviously, the city of Gainesville loves football, and they love the University of Florida. They love Buchholz High. Citizens Field was always packed out. So it was really a fun time, man. Gainesville's a simple town, and they love the game of football, so it was really fun. Because
your high school is here, and by the way, they're in the postseason, do you get to go back to watch Buchholz games?
Yeah, not as much. Not as much as I would like to. They're actually playing tonight. They're playing Oviedo, so hopefully they go get the dub out tonight. So, but I mean, we go to the hotels on Fridays and everything, so I don't get to go as much.
Fair enough. We got more to talk about. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sounds good. We'll also grab some winners tonight. We've got 2 prizes to give away, and I'm putting all the pressure on Miles Graham. He'll pull the numbers for the 2 prizes.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Yeah. We'll do that when we come back. Dreamfinders Homes presents Gator Talk, and it continues after this on the Gator Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey Gators, when you bring Hellman's creamy buffalo chicken dip to the watch party, you can be a couch coach, cheer too loud, or worse, bring a friend who knows nothing about football.
How do they get the yellow line to move on the field?
Because when you do dip with Hellman's, you can do no wrong. That's a Hail Mayo. Hellman's, the official mayonnaise of Florida Athletics. Bring out the best.
Calling all Gators, students, alum, and diehards who bleed orange and blue. VyStar Credit Union and UF Athletics are teaming up to earn you more green. Sign up for the VyStar UF Gators credit card and get up to 20% off select Gators home game tickets. Plus, you can get a $150 bonus and up to 3% cash back on purchases when you use your new card. Whether you swipe at the swamp or tap around town, earn more. Visit VyStarCU.org to learn more. VyStar Credit Union. Go Gators. Get cash back. Federally insured by NCUA. Bonus offer subject to eligibility. Terms and conditions apply. Visit VyStarCU.org for full details.
Gator fans, your dream home is closer than you think. Dreamfinders Homes, the official home builder of the Florida Gators and the 2025 National Builder of the Year, is offering incredible interest rate incentives across communities in Jacksonville, Orlando, and Tampa. Whether you're a first-time buyer or ready to upgrade, there's no better time than now to start owning, and we have the home for you. Start your search today at dreamfindershomes.com. Dreamfinders Homes, built for Florida, built for Gators.
This is Gator Talk, presented by Dreamfinders Homes on the Gator Sports Network from Learfield.
Be part of the first ever Winter Wonderland 5v5 Youth Soccer Tournament at Sports at WEC. From December 13th to 14th, this festive outdoor tournament is open to U8 to U14 teams with competitive and recreational levels of play. Don't miss fun for the whole family with on-site lodging that includes access to World Equestrian Center's Winter Wonderland holiday event.
Register your team and book your stay at sports@wec.com.
Gear up to root on the Gators at the University of Florida bookstore at the Wrights Union. The UF bookstore will be open from 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. for all the orange and blue gear you need. There's a large selection of clearance items throughout the clothing department with many items up to 50% off original price. This is a great time to expand your Gator wardrobe and save some money too. So as you look to root on the Gators, debut some new orange and blue gear at the UF bookstore, open noon to 5 on Sunday. So to score, just remember the University of Florida bookstore inside the Wrights Union on campus, and go Gators!
This is former Gator quarterback Shane Matthews, and you're listening to the home of Gator football, WRUF 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and 103.7 HD2.
Live from Miller's Ale House in Celebration Point, you're listening to Gator Talk, presented by Dreamfinders Homes. Once again, here's Sean Kelley.
Gators fans, make your game day even more memorable with exclusive collectible cups from Simple Modern, the official drinkware partner of the Gators. For each home game this season, Simple Modern has created a unique limited edition design available only at the Swamp. You can find them at select concession stands inside Ben Hill Griffin Stadium, and we'll hope that you'll get all 6. There's been a scramble for them. The design coming up, by the way, the Tennessee game is a salute to serve game. Salute those who served, and so the Simple Modern Cup that I have here to show everyone in person, but I'll describe for you on the radio. Royal Blue, it's that thermal cup that's similar to a brand name that I won't mention, but it's the Gators helmet script with the red, white, and blue, and then the saluting those who serve logo. Miles Graham is here with us, and so Miles, the first prize we have to give away tonight is the last game's Collector's Cup. Gotcha. So somebody's going to be able to add to their collection. Red tickets, everybody here in the house. Miles Graham, pressure's on you. I'll ask that you read the last 4 numbers of that red ticket.
Last 4.
Last 4, please.
2065.
2065. Boom. There we go.
Yes, sir.
Got our first winner. We'll do another prize here in just a moment. We'll take this one out. Oh, perfect. All right, you got one of those collectible cups. All right, Miles Graham leads the Gators in tackles, by the way. 51 total tackles on the season. 4 pass breakups. No interceptions yet. Yet. 5 quarterback hurries.
Yes, sir.
Miles was a Wildcat quarterback and a running back in his younger days. Now, of course, he's the starting linebacker. In any conversations with the new coach, have you brought up the fact that maybe you could help out carrying the football?
Oh, nah, yeah. Coach knows about me, man. Maybe one day he'll let me get a carry. Maybe one day he'll let me go out there on the offensive side and do my thing. You know, I still got it. I think I still got it.
Still got it?
Yeah, I might got to do a running back indie or something to show him. So whatever I got to do, I'm trying to get that ball back in my hands.
Yeah, guess what? There's this dude named Jaden Baugh.
Yeah,
Have you seen him carry the football?
Yeah, I have.
I don't really want to not have him carry the ball.
Yeah, there's some things I can critique about his game and everything, but yeah, that's my boy. He can run that. He can run the ball for sure.
We don't get to see good on good, full go very much. Have you had a collision with Jaden Baugh that you remember?
Oh yeah, plenty. He's a beast. He got thick lowers and he's real strong. He don't seem like he's like big up top, but he's one of the strongest dudes on the team for sure.
Who gets the advantage on putting some damage down, the linebacker or the running back in all that tangled mess?
It depends who sees each other first. You know what I'm saying? If the linebacker catch him not looking, then he'll get him. But if the running back hides behind the lineman and then he sees the linebacker first, it kind of catches you off guard. So it really depends.
So how do you personally put yourself in the best position with regard to that?
Yeah, just staying low, keeping low pad level, having eye discipline. You know, depends on the defense that we run. Having low eyes in your gap is what Coach Roberts says, so that's really important when it comes to that.
No doubt. We're going to go on the road here for the last time this year. I was just telling you during the break, I've been to Oxford for baseball and basketball. This will be my first experience working a football game at Ole Miss. I would assume for you as well. The Gators have not been there very much over the years. In your time now, the games you played last year and this year on the road, has one place stuck out in particular as a road venue that you enjoyed?
Yeah, I loved all of them, honestly.
Really?
Anytime you go on the road in the SEC, it's a great time. Man, it's rowdy fans. It's a great environment. And when you go on the road, I mean, anybody can beat anybody, man. So the few that have stuck out to me is probably Tennessee. Tennessee's been my favorite, probably the loudest. We went there last year and went to overtime. That was probably the loudest to me.
At home, it's a challenge because that's when the crowd is roaring to disrupt our opponent's offense.
Exactly. There's no communication on defense.
None.
We got to use hand signals because we can't even hear each other if we're right next to each other, especially on third down.
It is that definite.
It is that loud.
In the swamp.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Was that the hardest part for you to adjust into moving to this position after, obviously, Shamar left and kind of taught you what he did?
Yeah, it's not like practice. It's not like practice at all. Being in that swamp, man, you can't even hear the guy next to you. So even if you're yelling, you can barely hear him. So we have to use hand signals, and that's what we do.
I love talking about Miles and Childs when they get lined up next to each other. That's Miles Graham and Aaron Childs. He's kind of he's your running mate, isn't he?
Yeah.
You guys always seem to be very connected.
Same class.
You guys came in together, right? And so did that bond form then, or at what point did you guys start to kind of know each other's tendencies and moves?
Yeah, probably as recruits is when we started, hanging out, getting to know each other. Yeah. Coming in as recruits with the other guys, it was a great time, man, and having that time to bond and connect before we got to move into the dorms and before we started the grind, it was a great time. So that's when the bond really, started.
Well, how did you tell a Maryland guy what it would be like to live in Gainesville, Florida?
Yeah, I really didn't tell him. I just waited for him to experience it, So he got it the hard way.
The other guy that you play a lot with is Jaden Robinson. Now, he's just up the road in Lake City. Did you guys see each other in high school? Did Columbia play Buchholz at all?
We did play Columbia. We beat up on them every time. I tell them that all the time. Columbia can't mess with Buchholz, man.
I knew there would be some talk.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
It was such an easy
button
button for me to push.
Yes.
What about off the field? Where are you finding joy, basically? I mean, I think that Coach has talked about this, about being a well-rounded man and kind of learning your passions and whatnot. Other than football, where have you started to find some passion?
Yeah, I mean, I love hanging out with the guys, man, just sitting back, chilling, watching football. I'm a big football fan outside of the game, so any chance I get to watch football, I'm going to do it. And when I have time, I like to go out, go fishing with my dad, get on the boat, go ride with him. So, yeah, man, I like playing video games. That's about it.
That's good. It's a good mix.
Yeah.
If you were not playing football, you'd play what?
Probably baseball.
Really?
Yeah. I want to say basketball, but I don't really have the measurables, so probably baseball.
6'1", 228. Yeah. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, nah. Yeah, I'll probably swing the bat. Yeah.
I'd like to see that sometime.
Yeah.
My friend, it has been a joy to be around you this season again, and wish you nothing but success here down the stretch.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you on a Buchholz game night in the postseason to be with us here this evening as well.
For sure. Let's do it.
Join me in thanking Miles Graham tonight for being with us here on Gator Talk.
Thank you.
This is what makes, for me, coming to work great every day. Final thought or two. We'll get you set up for the game, the broadcast, all that when we come back. And we'll do so here to wrap up this next to last Gator Talk after this on the Gator Sports Network from Learfield.
My husband, Steve, was diagnosed with prostate cancer. They only gave him months to live. That was years ago. Now, he's out there, under the tree. Nature photography is his thing. And apparently, so is catching poison ivy.
Oof, so itchy. UF Health. Human progress has no finish line.
Hey Gator Nation, this is Vicki Brown-Worski, Director of Gators and Powell Hurd. As the Bank of Doing and official sponsor of Florida Athletics, Wells Fargo is supporting our student athletes on and off the field with interactive financial health curriculum and empowerment resources. Wells Fargo has a game plan for the full student athlete experience from their first semester on campus through graduation. Learn more about what Wells Fargo is doing to put people and communities first by visiting wellsfargo.com/impact.
Today's highlight is brought to you by Toyota. At home or on the road, they're never the underdog. Toyota,
Let's go places. Get 1.99% APR for 36 months on a new 2025 Toyota Tacoma Hybrid. Offer valid through December 1st, 2025. Zero down for well-qualified buyers with approved credit and financing through Southeast Toyota Finance. $28.64 monthly payment for every $1,000 financed. Excludes tax tag, registration, title, and dealer fees. See dealer for details. This is Gator Talk, presented by Dreamfinders Homes on the Gators Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, Joe, what are you and Mary doing for the Gators game? Want to come by my place and watch it?
No offense, Mick, but your place is more humid than Ben Hill Griffin Stadium, and that place is nicknamed the Swamp. Why don't you guys come over to our place instead? We'll have some snacks, hamburgers, hot dogs, cold drinks, and cold air.
That sounds good, Joe. I don't know who to call about the AC. There are so many companies out there. How do you know who to call?
That's easy, Mick. Call the company we always call. Charles Berg Enterprises.
When your home comfort is on the line, trust the name Gainesville has counted on since 1967. Charles Berg Enterprises. Charles Berg Enterprises is still family owned and still guided by the values Charles Berg believed in: integrity, reliability, and exceptional customer care. And they use the best equipment on the market. Train. It's hard to stop a train. So if you don't want your home feeling like the swamp and you don't want to get swamped with high electric bills, call Charles Berg Enterprises today and experience comfort you can count on. Visit CharlesBergEnterprises.com or call now to schedule your next service.
Charles Berg.
Charles Berg.
Charles Berg.
Every Gator football game all season long, right here on WRUF 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and 103.7 HD2.
It's Thursday night, and you're tuned in to Gator Talk, presented by Dreamfinders Homes. Once again, here's Sean Kelley.
Gators fans, your ultimate Florida Gators shopping experience awaits at Alumni Hall. Shop the best of officially licensed Gator gear from Nike champion Peter Millar, New Era, Yeti, and more. Spend $150 and you'll receive $10 in hall cash for your next shopping for apparel, hats, accessories, all of it. Tailgate gear, yes, of course, and not too late for that. 2 more home games to go. Alumni Hall, online or on their app. Alumni Hall, where Gators fans shop. Miles Graham was so nice tonight. I did not put the pressure on him for the last prize of the night. 2 tickets to next Saturday's game against Tennessee. That's a kind of a hot ticket here, so I'll handle that. Make somebody's night. 2068 on your red ticket. 2068. Hey, the young man, our senior from Trinity in Ocala. Welcome to the table. Congratulations. We got ourselves a winner. The game on Saturday kicks off at 7 Eastern, 6 Central. Our coverage begins at 6 p.m. on the Gator Sports Network from Learfield with Tate Casey, Kevin Winter, Jeff Cardozo. The 30-year vet, Steve Egan, will be heading that way immediately after the show to get us set up for that broadcast. And then, of course, again, kickoff just after 7 p.m. Don't forget, Gators men's basketball is on the road to Jacksonville Sunday night, 8:30, but we'll have it for you on the Gator Sports Network. And, of course, the women are off to a great start. You can tune into them as you exit or leave us here on Gator Talk. Friends, been a good one. Next week's our last one. We'll be back here 7 o'clock next Thursday night for Gator Talk as we get ready for that Tennessee game. For Steve Egan, I'm Sean Kelley. So long for just a while on the Gator Sports Network from Learfield.
You've been listening to Gator Talk, presented by Dreamfinders Homes, building throughout Florida, official home builder of the Gators. Tonight's show has also been brought to you by UF Health. At UF Health, we believe human progress has no finish line. Visit humanprogress.ufhealth.org to learn more. Meldon Law, official injury and accident law firm sponsor of the Florida Gators. We won't back down. Hellman's Real Mayonnaise. Do dip with Hellman's and do no wrong. And by Wells Fargo, official retail bank of the Florida Gators. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation of the Gator Sports Network.
Looking for cheap flights or cheap tickets? Call the low-cost airline travel hotline now for prices so low we can't publish them anywhere. We'll even save you money with cheap travel deals on hotels, rental cars, even complete travel packages. Call us first for the absolute cheapest prices on U.S. and international airline tickets and hotels. 800-452-4846. 800-452-4846. That's 800-452-4846.
Tired of working in a dead-end job? Start your new career with the Florida Department of Corrections. Earn $22 an hour, plus get up to a $6,000 signing bonus. Come meet the recruitment team in person Thursday from 5 to 7 at Gator BTW's, corner of Northwest 39th Avenue and Northwest 83rd Street in Gainesville.
Give thanks and shop local at Thornbrook Chocolates. With family-style assortments and individual place-sitting treats, Thornbrook Chocolates adds that extra special touch to your Thanksgiving traditions. Give, eat, indulge. Thornbrook Chocolates.
Your home for Gators football. WRUF Gainesville, W251CG Gainesville, WRUF FM HD2, and on the WRUF radio app.
Wood 1, your home for Thursday night football.
Your home for the NFL. WRUF Gainesville, W251CG Gainesville, WRUF FM HD2, and on the WRUF radio app.
Thursday night football is on Westwood 1.
And now the Jets will just go to victory formation.
2 in a row, baby. Hey,
there it is.
2-game win streak. It's amazing when you win, you have a bye, how the vibe can change.
I don't care if it's 3 games. I don't care if it's 1 game. We just want to win. The more you win, the more confidence you get as players, the more confidence you get as a team. And that's the only thing that we care about.
Toss left. Henderson has it. Travion gets outside. Goodbye to the 50, to the 40, to the 30, to the 20, to the 10, to the house. Touchdown, Patriots. There's your ball game. 8-2, baby.
We just have to stay consistent through our actions and, quick turnaround. These guys were locked in, prepared. There's times where I want to pull the head coaching card out and run around here and slamming everything, yelling, and really haven't had to.
Kickoff is less than 15 minutes away. Let's head to the stadium and join Tom McCarthy and Devin McCourty.
Welcome to Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts for a Week 11 showdown between the New York Jets and the New England Patriots. I'm Tom McCarthy, joined by 3-time Super Bowl champion with these New England Patriots, and a crowd favorite, I might add, as we're sitting basically in the crowd. Devin McCourty, Scott Graham, also a crowd favorite, will join us from our Westwood One studios at halftime. All right, Dev, I know the records are not the same. One is having a stellar year. The other one's having another rebuilding year. But this is an NFL rivalry between the Pats and the Jets.
Throw the records away, Tom. When you come in these type of games, you always have a team. If you have a bad record, how can we spoil the team that's doing well? How can we come in here and stir some mess up? And I remember back in my playing days, it was Rex Ryan and the Jets, and he would talk everything up. And my rookie year, 2010, they come here, they beat us in a divisional round in a game we all thought we would win. So I don't think about records when you think about this rivalry. Both teams, they kind of hate each other, and you want to win, and you want to beat this other team, and I think that's going to be a big part of tonight.
Patriots have won 7 consecutive ball games, and this is a game that features 2 opposite-end quarterbacks. Let's talk first about Drake May and how good he's been this year for the Patriots.
Yeah, man, his story has been incredible. Comes out of North Carolina, young player. You have a different offensive coordinator your first